Morning, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday morning. Welcome to week 18 of our STEAM Storytime. So my name is Kasha Dupuy, and I'm here from the Niagara Public Library. And we have something called STEAM Storytime every single Wednesday at 11 o'clock, where we talk about topics surrounding science, technology, engineering, or environment, art, and math. Today we're going to be looking at science. Actually, we're going to be looking at space. The cool thing about STEAM is that I just realized science could also be space, but I guess space falls under science. But that's why we love STEAM, because it is talks about all the really cool stuff that's really interesting in our world and beyond, right? So yes, my name is Kasha Dupuy. I'm from the Niagara Public Library, and today we're going to be talking about our sun. So we all know where the sun is. It's in the sky, but we have a really cool book we're going to read. We're going to talk about why it's important, and then I have a cool kind of sun activity for you to do later today. And you know what? I'm just very glad that it is sunny today, because yesterday it was a little bit rainy, and then wasn't it? Yeah, yesterday was rainy. Or Sunday was rainy? I can't remember. Anyway, so we're just going to wait 2 more minutes. And then I will flip over the camera. Not even 2 more minutes, maybe just like 30 seconds. We're trying a different camera angle today. So let's do that. Ready? Hi, everybody. So I'm trying a different camera angle today. I've got a really cool tripod because before I had like an arm that would go over to see as well. But today we're going to try this way to see if it works better or worse. We're trying stuff out all the time. So yes, Kasha Dupuy, that's me. I'm from the Niagara Public Library, and we're going to be talking about the sun today. And where is the sun? Does anybody know? If you're listening or sitting with someone, where is the sun? It's in the sky, right? So it's out far, far, far in space. It's actually very, 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 very far away from us, which is good. And we'll talk about why. So before we get started, my internet's been pretty good so far. Hopefully it will keep up. My boys are inside. They're having a morning snack. And my dogs are hopefully relaxing on the couches the whole time. So Finn and Evie are over there. Also, I'm not sure if you just saw, but there's a fly in here. He keeps heading around this way. So you might see him on camera. We haven't given him a name yet, but lots of exciting things happening. Okay, so you know what? Let's get started with our story today. So this book is called, and I'm just going to move over because I have a different angle. This one is called Sun, 1 in a Billion, and it is written by Stacy McAnulty and illustrated by Stevie Lewis. And I love the illustrations in this book. They are beautiful, and the story is great. It's a wonderful mix of fact and entertainment with it as well. This book was published in 2018 by Henry Holt and Company Publishers. So thank you very much for letting us use this wonderful book in our STEAM Storytime today. Also, I wanted to show you right on here. So this is our title page. So it's our universe, Sun, 1 in a Billion. And it says by Sun with Stacy McAnulty and illustrated by Sun and Stevie Lewis. So it's kind of cool because the sun gave them all the ideas, right? All right, let's get started. So this is the sun. Once upon a time, about 4.6 billion years ago, a magnificent and important star was born. And that magnificent and important star was me, your sun, with a capital S. Yes, I am a star. He's reading the dictionary, or the sun is reading the dictionary. And dictionaries tell you the meaning of words. So let's see what he's reading, or the sun is reading. Star. 1. A massive and luminous ball of gas full of energy. 2. An outstanding, talented, and popular performer. I fit both definitions. Ta-da! Look at all the planets. So there's Earth, and I think that's Jupiter, and that could be Neptune. This one or that one could be Neptune. The Milky Way galaxy has over 100 billion stars. That's a lot. Me. That makes me 1 in a billion, or 1 in 100 billion. I'm not the biggest, so what? not the brightest. Who cares? Not the oldest. Whatever. But I am the most important, at least to you Earthlings. So look at all those people, all the different kinds of people that are standing on Earth. And I love this page because I love that Earth has those beautiful eyelashes. Can you hang out for 8 minutes? That's how long it takes my light to reach Earth. Yep, I give you heat and light. You're welcome. So I'm important that Earthlings should name a special day in my honor. We can call it Sunday. Oh, wait. We already have a day named Sunday, don't we? Sunday. I'm famous for my heat and light, but I also hold our entire solar system together. Scientists call it gravity. What can I say? The planets are attracted to me. Oh, that sun. And because I'm the center of our solar system, life revolves around me, literally. So there's the sun, and the next planet is Mercury, and then we have Venus, and then Earth, and then Mars, Jupiter's here, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and over in the back, they're not on this page, but they're dwarf planets. There's Pluto and Haumea and Makemake. But all of these planets go around the sun. So they revolve around him, like he said, literally. Those other stars are far, far away from Earth, which makes them look teeny tiny and not so important. I'm close, a mere 93 million miles from Earth. To an Earthling, I look like this. But to Neptunians, I'm 2,795 million miles away. And I look like this. Tiny little star. Can you guys see? So that's what we see here. And that is what Neptunians, if you were on the planet Neptune, that's what you would see. If there were Neptunians, that's a good point. There's no known life on Neptune. Hi, Declan and Paige. Hi, guys. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Technically, I'm a yellow dwarf star. Identification card. Name, Sun. Type, dwarf star. Date of birth, long ago. He lives in the G2 Milky Way. It's a plasma donor, apparently. But I'm still a big, big deal. If I were the size of a basketball, so think of a basketball, Earth would be smaller than a grain of salt. So teeny tiny. You could fit about 1 million Earths inside me. Wow, that's a lot. Think of how big our planet is. That's how big. How you could fit 1 million of them in the sun. But you can't fill me with Earths because I'm hot stuff. Compare. A hot summer day, 90 degrees. A pizza oven, 700 degrees. The orange-yellow flames in a campfire, about 2,000 degrees. About me, sorry, right there, me, about 10,000 degrees on the surface. I can melt diamonds. Me, at my center, 27 million degrees. That's very crazy hot. Crazy, crazy hot. It's very good that the Earth is very far away from the sun. Ancient Earthlings thought I circled the Earth. Can you imagine me revolving around Earth? And some might think that I sit in the sky all day and all night. But I got moves, baby. I'm spinning. And because I'm not solid, my middle moves faster than my top and my bottom. So that's interesting. So up here moves a little bit slower than here because it's more liquid, right? Well, not liquid, but yeah, it's a little bit softer. And then he says, don't try this at home. I love this page. It's so beautiful. I'm not only important, I'm generous and good looking. Sun rises, sunsets, northern lights, southern lights. Sit back and enjoy the show. Sometimes I like to be mysterious and sneak away for a few minutes. Solar eclipse. But don't worry, I'm just behind the moon. While I'm astronomically bigger than the moon, 400 times wider, the moon is astronomically closer to Earth, almost 400 times closer. So the sun is very, 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 very far away from us. The moon is very, very close to us. My neighbor stars have fancy names. Meet Proxima Centauri, Alpha Centauri A, and Alpha Centauri B. So this is Proxima Centauri, Alpha Centauri B, and Alpha Centauri A. Me, I need just 3 letters. Give me an S. Give me a U. Give me an N. What does that spell? Sun. Sun, sun, he's our star, light and heat from afar. Please note, that's a capital S. I am important. Not to hog the spotlight, but I've still got it. I'm the same hot, bright star I've always been. And these are newspapers because it says a stable star is a good star. You don't want your sun getting hotter or cooling off. That would be really messy. So they're just saying, meltdown, stars fall apart. It's just pretend. So grab your shades. I plan to be in the biz for another 6 billion years. You and me, we've got a bright future together. The end. But this is why this book is also cool. There's a whole bunch of other really cool facts about the sun on here. This book is actually available to borrow from the Niagara-on-the-Lake Public Library. So instead of me reading this all to you today, you can actually borrow this and put it on hold and pick it up at our curbside pickup. Yeah, so it's a really awesome book. I love this book, and the illustrations are wonderful. So it's called Sun, 1 in a Billion, written by Stacey McAnulty and illustrated by Stevie Lewis. And again, it was published in 2018 by Henry Holt and Company Publishers. So thank you again for letting us use this awesome book in our STEAM Storytime today. So I'm going to put the book here, and I have some pictures to show you of the sun. Because we can look outside at the sun right now, but one thing I want to tell you, it is not good to look right at the sun for any long time. You can kind of take like a quick look like that, and that's it. But do not look at the sun because the sun is so strong, it can actually hurt your eyes if you look too long. So don't look at the sun. But that's awesome because we have pictures. We can take pictures of the sun and look at it that way. So this is what, I have some pictures here to show you. This is what we see when we look up at the sun, right? So that's what we see. There's a sun at sunset or sunrise, and then there's a sun that kind of looks like the one today because there's not very many clouds in the sky. And that's what we see. This little tiny ball just kind of, floating in space. But when we have satellites and telescopes that can take a closer picture of the sun, and it's still very, very far away, this is what it can look like. Yeah. So that's what the sun looks like if you were closer to it. So yeah, do you see how it is very, very bright? All those bright spots are actually energy inside the sun. And that energy is so strong, it actually makes its way over to us. Yeah, that's how far away and how hot the sun is. It can make its way over all the way to us. And do you see on that one on the side there, there's like that little kind of kind of curly thing over the side? That's called a solar flare. So the sun is so hot sometimes that it pushes out some of that energy, and you get this really cool solar flare. And sometimes apparently we can feel them here on Earth. That's really neat. Also a little bit scary, right? Because it's so big and it's so hot. Good thing we are where we are. So a long time ago, before we had clocks, the kind of clocks that we're used to, people used to tell the time of day by the sun because, the sun rises in the morning and then sets at night. So when the sun's coming up, it's morning. When the sun is going down and it's getting darker, it's becoming nighttime again. So people made these things called sundials. And I'm going to switch over here to show you what a sundial is. So sundials use the sun and the shadows that the sun makes to tell you what time it is, right? So if you look at these two here, there's the one that's on the left that's kind of orange. That one's made out of metal. And some people have these in their gardens. I know that if you go to in Niagara Falls, there's a whole bunch of sundials in the botanical gardens. My dad used to have one in his backyard. These ones we can't really make on our own, but see that one beside it that's in the sand or dirt? We can totally make that. So what we do is you put a stick in the middle or something tall. And see I have a little picture of the sun there? That is showing the sun shining onto that stick. And the sun, depending where it is in the sky, will make a shadow in the same spot at the same time every day. Yeah. So it's kind of neat. So actually, I'm going to show you, and I've changed the camera, so let's see if this works. A little bit different angle today. I'm not sure. Oh, there's my cell phone. Let's get that out of the way. I'm going to show you how to make a sundial from a paper plate using some markers and some pencils. And I have a straw just because we have a whole bunch of straws and I'm trying to find uses for them before I recycle them. But you can also use a pencil or a stick as well. We're going to turn this into a sundial just like I showed you. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to make this into a clock. So I'm going to write the numbers that are on a clock here. So I'm going to write 12 is at the top, right? And then 6 is at the bottom. So that's how a clock looks, right? A 12 at the top, a 6 at the bottom. And then across here, we always know the 3 is on one side. And the 9 is like that, right? And then we just fill in the numbers. So it'd go 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we're back at 12. So I'm going to do that really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. What comes next? 5, right? 6, then 7. And then we have 8. What comes after 9, everybody? 10, 11, and then we're back at 12. Okay, so there is my clock. Just like so. Okay? So we have the clock. We can kind of tell what time it is. But what I also like to do is draw a little line from 6 up to 11. Just like so. And then I'm going to draw a little bit of a moon. Just like that. Sometimes that will show you that it will be nighttime because we don't see the sun all the time, right? Usually when the sun is out, it's the brightest around 12 o'clock because the sun is the highest in the sky, so it should show the biggest shadow. And then it's bright, and then it gets darker and darker, and then usually around 6 o'clock, well, it depends on the time of year, but the sun will drop a little bit, and you'll see less shadows because the sun's not high enough. So this kind of works. Sundials are kind of a tricky thing, but we're going to make a really simple, cool one today. So I have our clock. I did my moon. You can do the moon if you like. You don't have to. Then you're going to grab a pencil, and you're going to find the center of your plate. So my center of my plate is right there, and I just drew a dot so you can see. And then what you're going to do is take your pencil, and you can ask a parent to help you, and you're going to poke a hole right through just like that, okay? You can leave your pencil in there, and that can be your stick, right? That can be your what makes the shadow. You can also go get like a stick or a twig outside, but I'm going to put the straw in here. And oh, you know what? I think I made my hole a little bit too big. So you know what? I'm going to use a pencil today. Just like so. And this pencil will create the shadow. Oh, can you kind of see it already? So it's not the true sun, but there's some light coming through the window, and see how it makes a shadow? And if I move that, see how the shadows move? Yeah. So a cool thing you can do is take your sundial outside, ask your mom or your dad or whoever's with you to watch, to tell you what time it is, if it's almost 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and try to make that shadow on that time. So I know it's about 11:30, so my shadow would be in between 11 and 12, and I would try to let it sit. I'd try to leave this alone, sorry. So put like stones on here or something to hold it down. And then later in the day, this is the cool part. Leave it alone for a bit, go play, go have a snack, go have some lunch. Come back and see if the shadow has moved around the sundial. Yeah, so this is what we've made. It's the same idea. You can also make a nature sundial, just like the one I showed you before. And actually, you know what? I'm going to put that one right back up quickly so you can take a look. But yes, we have made a sundial. And you can also make one using nature items. So the one that's on the right there, that is just a stick in the middle of the ground. And instead of writing numbers, that person decided to use shells and rocks. So it looks like maybe they're at the beach and that is what they made their sundial out of. Yeah, pretty cool, eh? So you can make a sundial out of pretty much anything as long as you have that stick in the middle and something to mark the time all the way around. It will work. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. That is our STEAM story time today. So hi again, everybody. So what we did was we read a book about the sun. We talked about, we saw pictures of the sun, right? So we saw what the sun looks like now. We saw what the sun looks like from space, like a little bit up close with from a satellite or a telescope. We learned how to make a sundial. And one thing I forgot to explain is why the sun is so important to us. Does anybody know why the sun's so important? I have a couple reasons why. The sun gives plants light, right? Because plants get their food, make their food from light. So if there was no sun, would plants be able to make food, or grow? They would not. So let's think about that. If plants don't have light, would we be able to be on Earth? Because sometimes we eat plants for our food, and if there's no plants not growing and they can't make fruits and vegetables for us to eat, then we're kind of, we're not going to be able to live. Also, the sun gives off lots of heat, right? And we need to stay warm and to stay healthy and safe. So if there's no sun and it's always dark and it's always cold, are we going to be okay? Probably not. We probably wouldn't make it very well. So we need the sun to help keep us warm and for plants to grow, and other animals as well. It wouldn't just be for us. It'd be other animals need the sun too. So yes, thank you again for joining me today for this week's STEAM story time. We talked about the sun. We saw some pictures of the sun. We kind of quickly talked about why it's important. And we made a sundial. And that's something that you can do at home, whether you use a paper plate or some nature items. It's a really cool, fun thing to do that shows you how the sun works and how the sun casts shadows. So thank you again for joining me. We are going to be uploading this video to our YouTube channel later today. So if you want to revisit, feel free to do so. And yes, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. And bye, Declan and Paige. Thanks for joining me. And we'll see you next week. Oh, there's a fly. Did everybody see that one? Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And we'll see you in about, I think, a week from now. Yeah, next Wednesday for our next week's Team Story Time. Bye, everybody.